This is Glutus, a computer science graduate from UC Berkeley who has found success on YouTube by capitalizing on the rapidly growing fan base centered around the popular digital card game Hearthstone. His niche is creating comedy-focused guides and hilarious parody songs, and in his 3 years or so on the platform, he has amassed a respectable 50,000 subscribers. In just a few years, he will use this channel as momentum to secure himself a job as a professional shoutcaster for the game he covers. Between his degree, his growing channel, and his cushy job, the stars are aligned for Glutus to live comfortably for the next 5 years. But on September 4th, 2018, he's going to throw it all away.
So the very fast summary is, I'm gonna post videos regularly, but they're mostly not going to be about Hearthstone anymore. And the general style that I've sort of landed on is gaming challenges, which is sort of weird and niche. And, you know, I don't think it's for everybody. I don't think it's like gonna be widely popular. They appear every 10 seconds, but they mostly don't have good aim. I can kind of see what's happening now. I said dragon!
And he's going to do something that in today's YouTube should have been impossible. This is DougDoug, a vampire, world-renowned dog food tester, Twitch streamer, YouTuber, and maybe a god, level 4 biohazard Keter class SCP, and a war criminal. He was born on January 18th, 1991 BC, and once beat Genghis Khan in a game of Mario Kart. She was also known as the Doctor, yes, she, which also means he was once a woman. There's about 13 pages dedicated to accurately covering all of Doug's life. However, due to the lack of cited sources, I have my doubts. The success of Doug's channel is nothing short of extraordinary, but it isn't apparent to the untrained eye. DougDoug broke the rules of YouTube, and because of this, he shouldn't have survived. However, as an average bald at 2D platformers fan, and now creator myself, I am so glad that he did. What Doug did was risky, it was stupid, but also it was chaotically genius. I want to talk about the rules that Doug broke and why he was still successful. More seriously, I want to explain why his success gives me hope, not just for my future as a creator, but for the future of YouTube for everyone. Before I begin, unfortunately, I am not DougDoug, and I don't have disposable ball pit money. So please have patience with me when I say this video was sponsored by War Thunder, with over 2,500 tanks, planes, helicopters, and ships from 10 major nations, all meticulously modeled with a high focus on accuracy and customization. War Thunder is the most comprehensive vehicle combat game ever made. Take command of vehicles from every era, from the biplanes of the 1920s to the subsonic fighter jets and tanks of the modern combat era. Get lost in War Thunder's incredibly realistic graphics and sounds to place you right in the cockpit, right alongside a thriving community of over 70 million players in epic PvP battles. With an unmatched wealth of high-quality content to discover, there's simply no game better suited for fans of military history. So download War Thunder today on every major platform, including PC, Xbox, PlayStation, and now even mobile, using my link below, and you will receive a massive bonus pack for new players and returning players who haven't played in 6 months across PCs and consoles. This bonus pack includes multiple premium vehicles, the exclusive Eagle of Valor decorator, 100,000 silver lions, and a 7 days premium account to get you started. This is only available for a limited time, so don't miss your chance. And thank you again, War Thunder, for sponsoring today's burritos. The first rule that Doug broke is that variety doesn't work. Now, for you and I, this feels wrong. Of course variety works. It's easy to rattle off 12 or so variety gaming channels that have millions of subscribers. Okay, but how many variety channels can you name that have less than 100,000 subscribers? Okay, what about 200,000? Now, how many channels can you name that covers, let's say, one game with 200,000 or fewer subscribers? A little bit easier. The reason for this discrepancy is how YouTube funnels viewers. YouTube puts known successful channels in front of you first because they have a track record for success. YouTube is a business at the end of the day, and it wants you to click a video. If you are a small channel that is deeper into someone's recommended pages, maybe on the second page where no man shall ever come back from, you really need to be worthy of a click that hasn't already been given to one of the established channels. You can't compete with these bigger channels by simply copying what they did either. Why would a new viewer want to watch a knockoff when the original is a page before, and likely has better quality, if we're being honest? Instead, you need to stand out and offer something completely different.
Speedrunning is too easy. So today I'm gonna play the entirety of Mario Odyssey from start to finish, but every 5 minutes I'm gonna spin a wheel, pick a random video game, and add the HUD from that game on top of Mario Odyssey, so that by the end it might look something like this.
DougDoug understood that typically this is accomplished by nailing down a niche, finding something specific that the big multi-billion subscriber channels aren't offering. But instead of locking into one game as his niche, Doug broke the rules. But he had a plan. I think. It's hard to tell with him. Doug took established sources of content and spun it in a way no one had ever done before. His, well, old-ish motto of,
Hey, this is DougDoug, where we solve problems that no one has.
isn't just something funny to hook viewers in. It's a formula for success. Gaming challenge videos have been around for a while, sure, but never like...
Word. All right, so theoretically, if I say bear,
Spawning bears.
it will spawn a lot of bears.
He went in the completely opposite direction of what should have worked and what should have gained him subs. He challenged established video styles with a unique twist, both creating his own niche and then filling it. Doug dove headfirst into the largest pond as the smallest fish. Stupid? Probably. Why would anybody watch some random guy play a 20-year-old game poorly? I don't know, but here we are talking about him like he's the Twitch equivalent of Da Vinci. No one would have ever been able to guess that this
Will this go well? Probably not, no!
would work. But it did. But it seems leaving well enough alone and pushing your luck is not in the DougDoug DNA. Consistency is one of the most consistent rules on YouTube. Douglas ignored this several times, in fact. I don't know about you, but if my first video after announcing a relaunch of my second channel performed like this, I would continue to make that type of content for as long as I possibly could. But this smooth brain here, well, yes, he made plenty of videos in this style, didn't. It would be less than a year later that he would jump into a new type of niche.
Smash Bros. Ultimate is the hot new Smash game, and I think you can break it into 3 core parts. So let's talk about each one and review them with food.
And again, this was needlessly successful. He held on to gaming challenges throughout this time, of course, but with how successful this format was, you would think that this would remain a staple for the rest of his channel's life. But no. In March of 2020, this would air the last of this style of content. But he kept doing this. Next, it was Twitch challenges. Next, it was mod challenges in Skyrim. And then we're back to voice chat challenges.
to AI.
Wait, aren't we supposed to hate AI? And did someone say Peggle? Beating Mario badly. And now D&D. Why are we giving thousands of dollars to a sea otter? Is this money? Why is Napoleon rizzing up George Washington? You get it, right? None of this makes sense. Doug broke the rule of consistency, plain and simple. But somehow chaos became Doug's consistency. He uploaded whenever and wherever he wanted to, and somehow it worked. Why? Because there is no one like DougDoug, and somehow Doug broke the rule of seniority. Unfortunately, in modern YouTube, personalities just don't start channels in the way that they used to anymore. It is what it is. In modern YouTube, to get clicks, people need to care about what you are doing, because no one will care about who is doing it. Doug somehow managed to do both. This may seem like needlessly over-the-top praise for some person I have never met on the internet for some brownie points that will never exist. But honestly, Doug's channel should not have made it this far. It would be like a Destiny creator making YouTube video essays and oh. Doug relied on what originally made YouTube so beloved. Make content that people love. Content that isn't overly produced, but still well polished. Content that feels relatable and builds community. And he just let the algorithm do the work. And this defiance to the norms, yet still finding success, strangely fills me with hope. To most of you, I am old. I started watching YouTube when subscribing to a channel really meant something more than it does now. And over the course of a decade, I have watched this platform go from being about a person to being about a brand. For quite a while, I feared that what I had come to love about YouTube was going extinct, that watching someone was being replaced with watching something. As silly as it sounds, DougDoug's success is like a rock in a great rushing river, a strange testament to the merit that YouTube has over more professionally produced media. He reminds me that someone like me still has a shot to be watched and to make a living, not because of what I am doing, but because of who I am. That creativity and humanity still has a foothold in this multi-billion-dollar industry. That despite all the greedy decisions I see around me, that there are still people out there on the other side of the screen. People that care for the artist as well as the art. That we don't need to outsource passion to machines that can optimize metrics. That we can just create and enjoy. That maybe I can keep making content despite not playing by the rules. So, thank you for letting me make what I want and live off of that passion. And of course, thank you War Thunder for sponsoring today's burritos. This amazing free game is available on PC, PlayStation, Xbox, and mobile, and for a limited time across PC and consoles. If you are a new player or haven't played in 6 months, you can click the link in the description to get multiple premium vehicles, exclusive Eagle of Valor decorator, 100,000 silver lions, and a 7 days premium account to get you started. Like I said, this is only available for a limited time, so don't miss your chance. Bless your faces, and deuces.